So I know you're probably wondering, where did he get that number from? That's has been my rent I have paid in 3 years. That's not that's not food. That's not gas. That's not any health items. Just rent. That's my rent for 3 years. So that's how much I spent in 3 years in rent. Hmm. I was doing the math. I was like, damn. And I really had to sit back and think about it because someone asked me, how much is your consultation? And I told them, they was like, well, what do it get? This and this. I'm like, hey man, I mean, you should know what a consultation is. I'm gonna guide you in that direction. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna guarantee you anything because you have to use the knowledge that is provided. You know, and I love to give my OG Master P at, use his example because he let me know by following him that he spent 25,000 for a consultation fee with a lawyer to tell him something that took less than an hour, that he had to go spend 200,000 more in order to do what he was trying to do. You might be like, oh man, that's a lot. And even he was like, man, I got to spend this much. But he understood the game. He didn't know the information that he needed to change his life. And he said it took 2 or 3 years before that investment paid off. But when it paid off big. So sometimes we have to spend a little money to make a lot of money. I invested that time 3 years in the desert, learning, finding my niche, learning the hustle, learning the art of hustling with welding. You know what I mean? Learning how to set up my EIN, my LLC, how to hustle and network myself. Like I had to put time and money into that. And that number is only a small amount for my rent that I had to pay just to come up with this, not the fees I paid for the drawings, the fees I paid for the classes, the fees I paid for the metal and the food, because you got to take care of you. As long as you're alive and you're building a business, you are the business. So if I don't take care of me, at least properly, I'm not going to be able to function correctly. And my business most definitely ain't going to be able to function correctly. So, I mean, it takes time and money to get to where you're trying to get to. So it's okay. You know what I mean? The main thing that you don't want to do is spend your money in the wrong places, because I have done that too. I mean, all of us have probably did that. We buy things with our eyes. We try to get a deal on certain things that you can't get a deal on. I mean, certain things that you have to pay that price for. You try to cheat yourself that extra $50 you trying to save, and it ended up costing you double, triple that on the long run because you should have just went and gone and bought the good one. Certain things you can buy the generic version of. I mean, you really can, and it's just like getting the new one. But certain things you have to spend that money on quality. Skilled work isn't cheap work, and cheap work isn't skilled work. I mean, when I learned that concept and really embraced it and put it in my life, I mean, I had to stand on it. There have been jobs and contracts I have turned down because I know that I'm better than what they're trying to do. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, let me go check it out. I'm gonna see what they talking about, see if it's some money involved, see how it go. And then I get to see it, I'm like, nah, and then I had to form my I had to form my minimum. And I think every welder, once you started, especially once you start being independent, or once you start, getting um, more skill at what you do, you got to come up with a minimum. And I have heard people say they minimum was stuff that they really didn't deserve, or they got on the job and they had to do so much for it. Now they think they deserve something that they're really not. They just got through in a situation with overtime and they needed someone to go there, and they got the big head for no reason because they doing it, but they still don't know what they're doing. I have seen that countless of times. So I think that it's all about investing the time and getting your skill set down where you know what you're doing, where you say, okay, I'm worth this amount of money if I'm not doing nothing but this. You should come up with a bare minimum. I mean, every welder, honestly, I think if you're just burning a rod and you ain't doing nothing but burning a rod. So just say you burn a rod in the field. They bring stuff to you, ain't doing nothing. They say the bare minimum. You might say, man, you know what? I don't want to make no less than $20 an hour if I'm just welding. just burn the rod. I need to make at least this, or I can't do it. Or if I'm traveling doing field welding, I need to make at least $25 to $30 an hour. Or if I'm doing iron working and welding, I need to make at least 27, 28, 26. 30, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you're trying to do, you need to come up with that minimum, and you got to stand on it. And there's gonna be some times people gonna say, "Well, show me what you get." I can't tell you, and I know you have seen this too. Contractors and jobs say, "Show me what you got. 30 days, 90 days, 60 days. I give you a raise. I give you what you're asking for." But you know what I come to realize? After we have put our time in working for someone, getting the skill set, learning how to do the job, becoming an adult, you can't go back to when you was a adolescent. If we could use the knowledge we got now and go back to an adolescent and we still got that same knowledge, do you know how powerful we'll be? You know what I mean? But we can't do that. And that's what I tell the companies now. And I had one company actually that I told this to the other day. The guy said, "Well, I got a minimum on this job right here. Let me pay you this. And in 30 days, we see how everything going and we'll pay you what you're asking for." I said, "Man, you know what? I wish I could go back to when I was 18 years old. I'd be a beast right now, but I can't. I'm 40 years old, so I got 20 years of experience, and I got to be compensated for that. At least it's bare minimum. And what I'm asking isn't crazy amount of money. You know what I mean? It's what I deserve. You know what I mean?" And then the guy hit me back up. He said, "You know what? You right. I don't have no problem with that. Let's start Tuesday tomorrow. Let's go on and get this stuff knocked out, man. I got a lot of stuff going on. I don't mind paying you. Just keep that between me and you. Don't talk to the other guys." I don't know why they say that when they give you what you ask for. They'll say, "Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody." But I don't tell my left hand what my right hand doing anyway. You know what I do when they tell me? Because a lot of times you be on a job and they'll say, "Man, I'm making this, man. Man, what you making?" Whoop. I don't tell what I'm making. I say, "I ain't making enough. I'm just passing on until I get what I want." You know what I mean? So they always say that. They always come to you, try to pick your pocket. Man, don't be picking my pocket. That's what they're doing. They're trying to pick your pocket so they can go say something or throw you under the bus or something. Man, when you're on a job and you negotiate your contract, that's what you're doing. Even when you're working for someone on a W-2, you know what I mean? You just punching the clock doing your 40 hours. You are a negotiator. If you let them people pay you $16 an hour and you know you worth 20 and you know they can pay you 20 because they paying John 22 and he ain't doing what you can do, you need to make